What's up, Honors? Today we're counting down the top 5 scariest years at Spirit Halloween for animatronics, so let's get started. And welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. So like I mentioned, today we're counting down the top 5 scariest years for animatronics at Spirit Halloween. But before we get into the video, let me tell you exactly how I ranked each of these years. So the first factor in deciding which year was the scariest for animatronics is I only focused on animatronics that were new for each year, not ones that were returning from previous years. Also, to make this video simpler, I decided to only focus on in-store animatronics, nothing that's online only. And then the final and biggest thing I looked at for each year to decide which year was the scariest is, of course, how many jump scare animatronics were sold each year. And I think that's probably the biggest factor to make a year scary because, yes, stuff can be gory or just look creepy, but I think jump scares are really the scariest out of them all. So that, of course, is how I rank these years. If you have a problem with it, please let me know in the comments. Anyways, let's get into number 5. And coming in at number 5, the 5th scariest year ever at Spirit Halloween is, of course, 2012. And 2012 here is coming in with a total of 6 jump scare animatronics. And those animatronics, of course, are Death Row, Ghost Girl, Giant Jumping Spider, Grave Mourner, Jumpin' Zombie, and of course the Poppin' Goblin. And some of these jump scare animatronics are certainly really cool ones. Like Death Row, I was able to get him a few years ago, and he's overall a great jump scare. Just when he activates and starts thrashing around, it always scares everybody. And then some other stuff like the Poppin' Goblin, he's a really cool one, and the Grave Mourner. They also have the Ghost Girl animatronic this year, which I know lots of people hate on this one. It's sort of a weaker jump scare, but still I do like that they tried to mix inflatables with animatronics. Anyways, some decent jump scares this year, and enough jump scare animatronics to put it at number 5 on the list. Number 4. And moving on, number 4, we've got 2016, and this year had 8 different jump scare animatronics. And those animatronics, of course, are the Attack Spider, Floating Ghost Girl, Hay Bale Popper, Lungin' Pumpkin Carver, Morning Gory, Sittin' Scarecrow, Reaching Arm Tombstone, and the Boogeyman. Now, 2016, as I mentioned in the past, is my favorite year from Spirit Halloween. I really love the themes this year, and there's just so many animatronics that I really loved. And some of my favorite jump scares from this year is definitely gotta be the Sittin' Scarecrow. This was the first year he was sold, and he's just such a scary one. You just reach in the bowl and his head pops up. We've also got the Hay Bale Popper, which this one has a really fast jump scare. I love the overall look of it, how it has the hay bale there that the pumpkin's sitting on. It's really cool. We've also got the Lungin' Pumpkin Carver, which this one I regret never buying it. It's really creepy and I really wish I'd gotten it. And then another awesome one is the Floating Ghost Girl. Not only does it have a great jump scare, but this one is also just so creepy looking. And overall, I don't think there's any bad jump scares this year. They're all really good, and lots of these animatronics I'd love to see back in the future. Anyways, a really scary year from Spirit Halloween, and it's coming in at number 4. Number 3. And next up here, we've got 2 years that are tied with 9 jump scare animatronics. But this first year I decided to put at number 3 and the other one at number 2 for a reason I'll get to in a minute. But anyways, at number 3, we've got 2013. And for 2013, the 9 jump scares they had was the Brown Jumping Spider, Dead Humor, Convulsing Nurse, Jumping Critter, Jumping Bug, Jumping Snake, Jumping Dog, Pop-Up Zombie, and the Thrashing Clown. And the only reason this year ranks so high with 9 animatronics is because of all the reskins of the Jumping Spider they made. Because, as I mentioned, they made the brown version of the Jumping Spider, and then they also made a Jumping Critter, Bug, Snake, and Dog. So if you don't count those, there's really only 4 jump scare animatronics this year, but some of these are really cool, like the Thrashing Clown, he's awesome, the Convulsing Nurse, and Dead Humor, all really great animatronics. Anyways, 2013 had a ton of jump scare animatronics, making it the 3rd scariest year at Spirit Halloween. Number 2. And at number 2, we've got a very recent year. That year, of course, is 2023, and that year there's, of course, 9 jump scare animatronics. And those 9 jump scares are, of course, Dagger Mike, Darlin Dolly, Desmodus, Emmeline, Gordo, Hellspawn, Lil Jack Carver, Spooky Sin Scarecrow, and Eternal Rest. And just thinking back to 2023, it definitely felt like a scarier year from Spirit. They gave us tons of just awesome jump scares that year. Some of the best ones is definitely Darlin Dolly, which I was able to get, which is such a great jump scare. Like, just 7 foot tall, she's already massive, then how she just like lunges down towards you is really creepy. Desmodus was also a pretty good one, and Emmeline is really cool how she jumps out so far at you. Gordo's also a great one. Hellspawn's awesome, and Lil Jack Carver is also really good. Just a ton of awesome jump scares this year. And this year, there wasn't too many bad jump scares. I think really the only one was Eternal Rest, which this animatronic, it is a good jump scare if you actually have this thing working, but if you have a broken version of this, which most of you that bought this probably do, its head just keeps spinning around. It really weakens the jump scare, but still, I do like when it has its head spinning around. It does look funny, but this one was definitely the worst jump scare this year. But yeah, it's so awesome that Spirit Halloween, for their 40th anniversary last year, gave us 9 different jump scare animatronics, and that makes it number 2 on the list. Number 1. And lastly, the scariest year ever at Spirit Halloween with 13 jump scare animatronics is 2014. And those 13 jump scares are, of course, the Broken Girl, Korak Monster, Electrified Maniac, Jack-O-Lunger, Jumpin' Cat, Jumpin' Skull with Tombstone, Lungin' Lily, Lurchin' Zombie, Peekaboo Penny, Pop-Up Grave Zombie, Pop-Up Werewolf, Pop-Up Zombie Toilet, and the Evil Scientist. So with Spirit Halloween usually having around 20 new animatronics for in-stores each year, that means over 50% of their lineup this year were jump scare animatronics, which was really cool. And some of my favorite jump scares here is definitely gotta be the Broken Girl, one of my all-time favorite animatronics. We've also got the Korak Monster, which is another really great jump scare and one I really wish I could get. We've also got the Lungin' Lily, which is also a really good one, and I believe she returned in some sort of form to Moore's costume a few years back. We've also got the Lurchin' Zombie, which is a really spooky one. Peekaboo Penny is also a classic one from Techie, such a good jump scare. And of course, there's also a very hated animatronic this year, which I just got to mention, which is Skibidi Toilet himself, the pop-up zombie toilet. This thing is hated by a lot of people. I don't think it deserves all the hate. I think it's a decent animatronic. Like, it pops out and everything. It's really spooky, but still, I can see why people dislike it. It's not the greatest thing ever. Anyways, 2014, even looking at the non-jump scare animatronics, there was a lot of spooky stuff this year, and definitely overall, it's the scariest year ever from Spirit Halloween. Unfortunately, I don't really remember this year that much, but just looking at old videos and everything, it looks really spooky, and that's why it's number 1 on the list. And with all said, everyone, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you are curious what the average amount of jump scare animatronics is each year at Spirit Halloween, from my calculations, the average is 5 jump scare animatronics, meaning that 2024 is below average at only 4 jump scares, and 2 of those are reskins with the Gray Jumpin' Spider and, of course, Tower and Tallulah. But anyways, there's been some really spooky years from Spirit Halloween, especially 2023. 9 jump scares is crazy, and I hope in the future Spirit Halloween gives us a lot more jump scare animatronics, and maybe there'll be a new scariest year from Spirit Halloween. Who knows? Anyways, that's it for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.